Welcome to Sailing Avanti. We are Gerard and Jacqueline, sailing our 41-foot monohull Avanti around the world from Cape Town, South Africa.
It has been an extremely interesting 48 hours. When we woke up in Norman, we rushed to Tortola. We had to check out because all of a sudden we had a weather window to get to Anguilla. So we rushed to Tortola, we checked out, had to get COVID tests, had to stock up on diesel and make it back to Avanti for an evening departure. And then we sailed overnight from Tortola to Anguilla. Anguilla has been our next port of entry because Sint Maarten didn't allow us. So we were heading for Sint Maarten, but last minute we found out we needed visas that we don't have. So Anguilla is right next door. And now it's time to say good morning, Anguilla.
So we're in Anguilla, and the passage from Tortola was relatively quick, so it's only 90 nautical miles, but it's straight up wind, so we had to choose a weather window where the wind was quite light because we didn't want to tack all the way. It would basically mean double the distance, so we motor sailed most of the way. We just had the main up and we managed to sail a little bit, but we motored basically 18 hours. But we're here and the swell was quite small and the wind conditions as predicted, so we don't like doing too much motoring, but heading east in the Caribbean this time of year is quite difficult because the winds are normally dead on from the east.
Only 6 miles from Sint Maarten lies the very small Anguilla. Some would say the best kept secret of the Eastern Caribbean, and others would say one of the most expensive places to cruise. Between its striking long white beaches, gin clear waters, mouth-watering restaurants with world-renowned chefs, it was still the extremely selfless and welcoming people that found a special place in our hearts. Beautiful morning here at Anguilla. We met some people at the bar last night, a bunch of locals, and they actually told us that the road that goes to the main town where the laundry services is being worked on, so we can't actually get there. They said it's a very confusing back road, that it's going to be like trying to explain to us how to get to the moon, and they're actually letting us do our laundry in their house. I have to point out they are Canadians, and Canadians are known for being super friendly, so thank you Canadians out there for helping us South Africans doing our laundry in a strange place.
While we were waiting for our laundry to get done, a local had to give me a lesson in how to play dominoes. Dominoes can be found on every beach where the taxi drivers sit and wait for clients. Decided to rent a car for 2 days in Anguilla. The cruising fees are really expensive to travel around by boat to the different bays. It would cost us about $40 a day. So the car is $30 a day. So we're gonna do some sightseeing with that rather. Initially we booked this little car from the car rental. It's a little Nissan Micra and it was really cheap, but the previous guy that rented it had it for longer than he was supposed to, so we got upgraded at no cost to a V6 Honda. It really feels weird to be behind the steering of a car for the first time in almost 4 months. But yeah, it's like riding a bike, and at least they drive on the left side of the road, and this car is a right-hand drive. Lots of the cars on these islands are left-hand drives. They come from America, but they drive on the left-hand side of the road, so a bit confusing, but yeah, this is not bad. We first headed west in search of the famous arch, and after a few circles and wrong turns we eventually found it. In the end, it was well worth the search, and it reminded us of a similar sight back home in the South Africa's Transkei called the Hole in the Wall.
With 33 bright white beaches, you could literally be on a different beach every day of the month in Anguilla. If beaches are not your thing, they also have this beautiful golf course that one could enjoy.
Very nice destination, just not that many cruisers. And you can see Sint Maarten just across the bay, and we can't get in there. What a pity. The main reason we want to be in Sint Maarten is to buy a new windlass. As you might know, our existing windlass packed up in Dominica, and we've been pulling the anchor chain manually since then. Boat parts are relatively affordable in Sint Maarten, with lots of marine shops and no taxes charged. Unfortunately, we still cannot get those visas. It's like us trying to swim here, getting nowhere fast. Avanti is lying in Enroute Bay at the moment. It's one of the main ports at Anguilla, so we had to clear in there, and you can stay there. If you want to cruise around, you need a cruising permit. I think we mentioned it's quite pricey, but Enroute Bay is quite nice. It's got a big salt pond at the back and just a little row of houses and buildings and restaurants, so quite small and nice.
I think we found paradise. That is called Little Bay and Little Bay Beach, and I'm definitely going to try and find it. There is apparently there's a rope somewhere here in the forest that you can try and abseil down, but there's also a restaurant around the corner that you can rent kayaks or SUPs from and then come around the corner. It's an extremely windy day, like we haven't been able to sit on any beach without being blown away, and it is super calm here and absolutely beautiful, so we'll definitely try and find this one tomorrow.
We are in Anguilla, and there used to be a local craft brewery, but according to the locals it didn't survive the the COVID period, so it did close down. So there's no locally brewed beer in Anguilla, but we still have one beer left that we bought in the Virgin Islands. This is a US Virgin Islands beer, but it's widely available on the British Virgin Islands. So it's an island summer ale that they call it. So I'm gonna give this a taste and then we'll see how it goes. So yeah, it's a really nice ale, nice kind of summery, easy drinking, not very heavy. So I think in terms of the cost, they do about $1.50 at the supermarket and about $5 at the pub. And yeah, so it's not too bad if you buy it at the supermarket. It's good tasting and it's nice and refreshing, so I would give it a 7 out of 10. The next morning we headed east and kept on finding the most beautiful beaches, white sand and turquoise waters. We even had to do some off-roading to get to these beaches, but nothing serious in our non-4x4 car.
It's day 2 of trying to find our little beach, or trying to get to it. We've brought a super long rope, and Gerard's going to tie it to a tree, and that's going to go all the way down to the water, so that when we come back up and we've got some a rocky, not descent, but coming up on some big rocks, then we've got the rope to pull onto. We've also got some booties on our feet, so that our feet don't get cut. We made it! It's beautiful. We found a new way that didn't need our rope. A rainy morning just before we needed to give back the car was spent provisioning and topping up our diesel tanks. So tonight we're doing something extremely exciting. We've been invited to not one but 2 restaurants where we're going to see what local dishes they can cook up, and we're actually going into the kitchen with the chefs and they're going to show us their recipes. So we're very excited and can't wait to show you. First we headed to Sandbox, right on the beach in Enroute Bay. The perfect relaxing place to see some sunsets with their happy hour. That starts from 4:30 to 6:30 Tuesdays to Saturdays. Chef Darren takes us into the kitchen.
Alright, this is a very cool dish, very unique dish that we brought to the island. That comes from an old chef that we worked for. It's called Zucchini Carpaccio. Very, very simple. 3 main ingredients. Zucchini, matchstick using the mandolin, and pecorino romano cheese, and almonds that we're going to toast, and then we're going to just lightly salt and pepper. Very simple dish to do at home, and an excellent, excellent tasting dish. You lightly toast the almonds on pretty high heat with just a little bit of olive oil in there. Get them to there around, let's say, tan or brown. Let's see. We're getting there. I didn't have the heat on too high when we started, so. Okay, now as soon as they start to get tan or brown, which is very close, you're going to throw a nice handful of zucchini on. And you're just going to toss them and lightly season them with salt and pepper. And you don't want to get too hot, but you definitely want the temperature of the zucchini just to come up enough, because we're going to put the pecorino cheese on top of it, and then it's going to help melt the cheese just a little bit. All right. Light pecorino cheese, cuts very thinly, and then crumpled over the top. And then always a little bit of parsley garnish. You are ready to go.
Simple, fresh and full of flavor. We head back into the kitchen for dessert.
Okay, so basically you've got simply a Johnny cake, fried Johnny cake, rolled in cinnamon and sugar, cream, whipped cream, and red electric caramel sauce at the top. And there you have the best dessert in the Caribbean, Johnny cake sundae.
This famous dessert also goes by another name, called the 3-second dessert, because it doesn't last more than 3 seconds. Just up the hill we go to the classy Veya, situated in these beautiful botanics in its open-air restaurant. I make my way straight into the kitchen as the team is ready to show us their Maimoy. Seared with salt and pepper on a hot pan and straight into the oven. This time of year, Maimoy, also known as dorado, is normally the catch of the day. As soon as it's cooked through but still juicy, they flip it around and put it back on the heat to sear the other side. To complement the fish, they mix in a tablespoon of basil pesto with some mashed potatoes.
Do I need a lemon cup, please?
Time for the sauce.
That's shallots, garlic, red pepper, juices of orange juice and lime juice.
When you find yourself in Anguilla, definitely give these two restaurants a try. If ever I needed to pick a last meal, this would definitely be it. Thank you so much, Kerry and her husband, for spoiling us with these amazing dishes.
The kindness of the locals persisted without fail, with lifts being provided without us even hitchhiking, and Elvis of Elvis Beach Bar taking time to play games with his patrons. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, comment, or feel free to share it. In the next episode, we see what else Anguilla has to offer, and we take another stab at sorting out our windlass. Our Patreon link is in the description below the video.